So let's talk about spinal movement. So our spine moves in 8 directions, but we can only move it statistically, we can only move it in 6 directions. So the directions that it moves is forward, back, or in other words, flexion and extension. It moves lateral flexion, and it moves turn or rotation and rotation. It also moves up and down. So we call it distraction and traction, or traction and decompression, or compression, decompression. A lot of different names. But the process is you can't do that yourself. Those are the 2 we can't do. So we don't worry about those. But the 6 that we can do, I've put the mantra there: forward, back, side, side, turn right, turn left. So, and a lot of you guys have probably heard me talking about this, but it's super easy to do. I'm not talking about stretching, and I'm not talking about sweating out with the oldies or anything that, I'm not talking about P90X, you know. I'm talking about 30 to 90 seconds total. And so what you want to do is start with your neck. So I'm not going to move my shoulders. I'm going to tuck my chin and roll forward and come back to neutral. I'm going to bring my head back and go back, come back to neutral. I'm not going farther than I can go. I'm not pushing or straining. I'm not gritting my teeth. So I come back to neutral, then I'm going to bring my ear to the side, come back to neutral, side, back to neutral. Then from neutral, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to turn. In that short amount of time, I've moved every cervical vertebrae I have through its full range of motion. How many joints is that, by the way?
5.
5? No. How many vertebrae do we have in our neck?
3.
I will give you 7. I'll give you a hint. How many vertebrae does a giraffe have in its neck?
Same.
7. We have 7, they have 7. So we have 6 joints above, 6 joints below. So we have 42 total joints in our neck. That's why when I adjust your neck and it goes, there's a lot of joints there, right? So 42 total joints, and we've moved every single one through its full range of motion. So forward, back, side, side, turn, turn. Notice that I'm not moving my shoulders, right? The other thing that I want to make that very clear with the neck is when you're going forward and back, tilt the chin first. So you tuck and roll, and you bring it up and you go back, because otherwise you're going to miss the top 2 vertebrae. So it's very easy for me to just go forward, but I have a lot more. I haven't moved the top ones. So tuck your chin and roll, bring your chin back and go back. Now I can do this fast, slow. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to hold it. We're talking about moving. Now I'm going to do the mid-back. I want to keep my hips stable. So you can do the sitting. That forces your hips to be stable. So what I do is I bend forward and back, lean to the side, shoulders to the side, shoulders to the side, turn, turn. Now I've moved all the thoracic vertebrae through their full range of motion as much as humanly possible in that short amount of time. For the lower back, same thing, except now I free up my pelvis. And I'm not trying to stretch my hamstrings, so I can bend my knees for this. And I go forward, I go back, side, side. I can turn, now I can really turn my pelvis, and I turn my pelvis. So I've moved my cervical spine, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, all through its full range of motion. So here's the dance, if you choose to do it. As you're dancing, you're moving forward, back, side, side, turn, turn, and you can combine the thing, so I can go forward, 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 back, 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 side, 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 turn, 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 and you can integrate your own dance moves in there. Awesome. Stretching is another one. I recommend that you move your not just your spine, but your entire body through its full range of motion every single day. I do mine when I'm in bed, because I like my bed and it's comfortable. So I start by moving my toes, and I just move my toes back and forth. Then I move my ankle, and I move my ankles around. I move my knees back and forth. I turn on my side, move my knees. I kind of twist, bend all through the hips, pelvis, spine, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands. It's not that hard to do. So I start all the way up, out to the hands, back up the neck. Who thinks they can do that? Pretty straightforward. You don't have to do it in bed. I made that up. That's fine by me. But you want to do that standing. You want to do that, part of your workout thing. So I see a lot of people, especially guys, that go to the gym and they don't do any warm up. They just head right over to the weights and they pick up a heavy weight and they start lifting, right? If you spent 2 to 3 minutes warming up your body, going through full range of motion with your hands, with your wrists, with your elbows, with your shoulders, just moving your shoulders around, you would prevent a lot of injuries, and you would actually warm your muscles up, at least to some degree. I actually recommend you do at least 10 minutes. Just light aerobic stuff. But easy to do, very easy to move your joints through that full range of motion.